Okay, this video is recorded on the basis of the videos that I have watched. The videos was provided by our technology department. The videos were in the following three areas: industrial health and safety, technologies for manufacturing and DMC, and finally factory layout and planning. This is a project that came in to combat the effects of COVID-19. Due to COVID-19, there were various restrictions that came up. These restrictions forced us not to go to our trip, that was Mombasa, and therefore this project came in to combat this effect. Firstly, I would like to thank the university management for coming up with such program. Secondly, our technology education department, led by our able HOD, that is Dr. Kiprotich, and our facilitator, Mr. Ulo, for coming up with such a program. This program is very educative, and one is able to get the experiences that one would get when visiting such industries. For example, if we had gone to Mombasa, we'd come back with a lot of skills that would help us in our technology line. So first, I would like to discuss factory plan and layout. So factory plan and layout, we do this, or maybe a factory owner does this with the final product in mind. When we design a factory, there are various considerations that we have to consider. First and foremost, the gate. That's the main entrance. We realize that the gate should be wide and spacious to allow huge trucks to come in. Secondly, when you look at the parking area should be spacious to accommodate lots of trucks and lots of cars. As we do this, we remember that the factory should have the management. The management should have their space, and therefore the space, including their offices, the offices should be set aside where they'll have their manual handling of work, their paperworking, and whatever they need to do, maybe the meetings, but the offices should be set aside. Thirdly, as we built our factory, we realized that we should consider ventilation. Ventilation is very important. Therefore, we should have turbines at the roof, which will help air circulate properly. The central hub should be considered. The central hub is very important, where the factory employees will be able to pick up items. So as we do this, remember our trucks need some petrol, and some factories may have places for fueling these trucks. So the fueling stations should be set aside. We realize that petrol is or diesel is very combustible. It may come up with various health hazards. So these are some of the considerations that one should take in when having a factory. In case there is a future plan maybe to expand the factory and there is huge tracts of land, a wall should be built to separate such lands for future use. So as we do this, we remember that there are some hazards that may come up, and these are the health hazards and safety hazards that may injure our employees that are working in the factory. The health hazards are categorized based on their causes. We have safety hazards, we have physical hazards, biological hazards, economic hazards, among many others. These hazards come and may injure our employees. And what should we do? We realize that it is the function of every employee, or rather every employer, to keep the environment safe. The working environment should be safe. Therefore, it is the responsibility of every employee to make sure that the working environment is very safe. So the hazards may come in different forms, as we have discussed, and I'd like to major on fire. Fire is a major cause of hazards, and when a fire erupts, it kills, it injures, or destroys lots of property. So what should we do? We realize that every employee should have adequate skills. Before employing an employee. The firm should ensure that the employee has adequate skills to handle any emergencies in the industry. So when such an emergency occurs, one should report to the relevant authorities. And one thing, every employee should stick to their line of work. An employee should never handle anything or any machine that he or she does not have the required skills to handle them. So in case of we have biological hazards. In case this happens, we realize that some of the industries should provide personal protective equipment, the PPEs. In 1992, there was an act that was amended, and this act said that it is the responsibility of every employer to provide personal protective equipment to each and every employee. So there are some of the PPEs that are only used once and they are thrown away. So these PPEs, remember, they should be able to cover the whole body, the nose, the eyes, the hands, the legs, so that they provide safety measures. So these are some of the measures that are done to combat healthy hazards. So finally, we are discussing about technology for manufacturing and DNC. In the past, we realized that producing the products that were desired was very slow. So, and the handling of machine tools was done by a skilled machinist. And this means that there was slow production of tools, and this would take time to produce a single tools. But with the high demand of these qualified tools, and arrival of demand of quality materials, we realized that we had to come up with something. Technology, we can say that technology has revolutionized or grown from one stage to another. In layman's language, we can say that technology has come from analog to digital. So with the arrival of CMC, we realized that, and DNC, we realized that these are systems which are programmed to do a specific job. So when we program these, we enable these machines to produce large amount of desired products at a go. So these DNCs have come to combat the use of one skilled labor to handle various products. So when we program these machines, we program them to do various tasks, maybe to cut, maybe spindle rotation, cutting, and these are actions done by specific machine parts. So these machine parts, remember, they come with advantages, and the advantages include they are very flexible in what they do. That's one advantage. And therefore they are very accurate and precision. When we say cutting, it cuts maybe 5 millimeters. It will only cut that 5 millimeters. So therefore it is very accurate in what it does. And realize that when this DNC came in, their main functions were maybe turning, milling, welding, punching, and electrical discharge. These are some of the work that DNC does. So the videos were so clear in explaining all the processes that happens in the factory. As I conclude, I'd like to pass my sincere gratitude to our technology education department. We realize that technology education department has really tried to combat the effect of COVID-19. We were supposed to travel to Mombasa in 2020, but with the arrival of COVID-19, they came up with various restrictions. We were not supposed to visit industries. The industries allowed only a specific number of people. Therefore, considering the amount of the number of students in technology education department, it was very impossible. Therefore, my sincere gratitude to the technology education department for coming up with such a program to combat the effects of COVID-19. With this product, I've been able to learn a lot of what happens in the industries, and I would say this from the bottom of my heart, that it provides the same experiences that one will get when visiting such industries. Thank you.